Spieth is a proud partner of USA Gymnastics and a global leader in gymnastics equipment with more than 190 years of tradition, innovative design, and athlete-proven performance. Prepare your gym for competition season by visiting SpiethAmerica.com to find your local Spieth dealer. Good luck to all the competitors, and remember to train on Spieth. Xfinity keeps gymnastics fans in the zone with a connection you can rely on. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Catch all the Winter Cup action on the USA Gymnastics YouTube channel. Every session is streamed live, and all routines will be uploaded so you can see your favorite moments again and again. Visit youtube.com/USA Gymnastics. Nike, proudly supporting athletes of today and inspiring the ones of tomorrow. Nike, the official partner of USA Gymnastics. Welcome to the 2025 Winter Cup here at the Kentucky International Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. This marks the first of 2 days of competition featuring the top senior men's gymnasts in the country. They're all here in Louisville, contending for apparatus medals, vying to earn an all-around title, and striving to end the week as a member of this year's Team USA. And now, the gymnasts that are here to compete in the 2025 Winter Cup. Starting off on floor exercise for Ohio State University, Jessie Lee Pikelli, Parker Thaxton, David Ramirez, Cameron Nelson, Christian Grahovsky, Caden Spencer, and Drake Andrews. Starting off on pommel horse. For University of Illinois, Brandon Dang. For Evo, Danila Lakin. For Gymkhana, Sasha Boganosiuk. For University of Illinois, Preston Nye. For Gym Tech, Ty Rodriguez. For Evo, Kyle Jordan. For University of Illinois, Ian Sandoval. And for Evo, Alex Diaz. Starting off on rings for Penn State University, Matthew Underhill. For U.S. Air Force, Patrick Hoops. For University of Michigan, Crew Bold. For U.S. Air Force, Eric Upton. For University of Michigan, Javier Alfonso. For U.S. Naval Academy, Brian Solomon. For University of Michigan, Frederick Richard. And for Interstate, Divier Ramos. Starting off on vault, all for Stanford University, Jeremy Bischoff, Kieran Mandava, Riley Luce, Colt Walker, Kai Uemera, Taylor Burkhardt, and Brandon Wynn. Starting off on parallel bars, for William & Mary, Zachary Patrick. University of Nebraska, Lincoln, Taylor Christopoulos. For 5280, Dallas Hale. For University of Nebraska, Lincoln, Alexandru Natachi. For West Point, Dante Reeve. For 5280, Ethan Cox. And for University of Nebraska, Lincoln, Caden Clinton. And starting off on high bar, for University of Oklahoma, Kelton Christensen. For agility, Nathan Roman. For University of Oklahoma, Ignacio Yakers. For University of Oklahoma, Brigham Fenithway. For Eagle Ridge, Nate Brady. For agility, Justin Park. For Texas Dreams, Jun Iwe. And for University of Oklahoma, Fuzzy Bennett. These are the senior men competing in the 2025 Winter Cup. At this time, we invite you to please rise if you are able. Remove your hats and direct your attention to our nation's colors for the playing of our national anthem. competition in today's Winter Cup for senior men. Gymnasts may now begin their warm-up for rotation 1. Here is the format for tonight's first of 2 days of Winter Cup competition for senior men. Gymnasts will compete on all 6 apparatus and in the all-around competition. Each gymnastics routine will be judged on the merits of content and the athletic execution of that content. The score for each routine is determined by adding together the routine's final difficulty score and final execution score. Individual event scores and up-to-the-moment standings will appear on arena scoreboards. The award ceremony will take place after Sunday's competition. The medal winners will be determined by combining the scores from both days of competition. And now introducing the USA Gymnastics judges for the 2025 Winter Cup Senior Men's Competition. The competition director is Jason Woodney, men's technical director John Corbett, and superior jury Dan Bachman. Judging on floor are Sho Nakamori, Craig Nesbitt, and Tim Michaels. Judging pommel horse are Peter Weiging, Adam Hattersley, and Andy Brown. The judges on rings are Mike Ash, Kathy Sue Rupp, and Tom Kutz. Judging on vault tonight are Nat Hammond, Mick Kurth, and Aaron Fortunato. The judges on parallel bars are Nate Dodson, George Crank, and Cameron Swinney. And on high bar, Dave Johnson, Lenny Lucarello, and Evan Shaw. This concludes the warm-up, and competition begins with the start of rotation 1. Starting off on floor for Ohio State, Jesse Lee Pikelli. Starting on pommel horse for Illinois, Brandon Dang. Starting off on rings for Penn State, Matthew Underhill. On vault for Stanford, Jeremy Bishop. On parallel bars for William & Mary, Zachary Patrick. And now on high bar for Oklahoma, Kelton Christensen. Coming up next on vault for Stanford, Kieran Mandava. Brandon Dang of Illinois on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for Evo will be Danila Lakin. Matthew Underhill of Penn State on rings. Coming up next on rings for Air Force will be Eric Upton. Zachary Patrick of William & Mary on parallel bars. Up next on P-bars for Nebraska, Taylor Christopoulos. That was Kelton Christensen of Oklahoma on high bar. Up next on high bar for agility, Nathan Roman. Coming up next on floor for Ohio State will be David Ramirez. Kieran Mandava of Stanford on vault. Up next on vault for Stanford will be Riley Luce. Eric Upton of Air Force on rings. Up next on rings for Michigan will be Javier Alfonso. Danila Lakin of Evo on pommel horse. Riley Luce of Stanford on vault. Up next on pommel horse for Gymkhana will be Sasha Boganosiuk. Nathan Roman of agility on high bar. Up next on high bar for Eagle Ridge, Nate Brady. Taylor Christopoulos of Nebraska on parallel bars. Up next on P bars for 5280, Dallas Hill. Coming up next on vault for Stanford will be Kai Uemura. Coming up next on floor for Ohio State, Cameron Nelson. Of Stanford on vault. Coming up next on vault for Stanford will be Taylor Burkhart. Javier Alfonso of Michigan on rings. Up next on rings for Navy will be Brian Sullivan. Nate Brady of Eagle Ridge on high bar. Dallas Hale of 5280 on parallel bars. Up next on P bars for Nebraska will be Alexandru Natachi. Coming up next on high bar for agility, Justin Park. Up next on pommel horse for Illinois, Preston Nye. Cameron Nelson of Ohio State on floor. Taylor Burkhart of Stanford on vault. Up next on floor for Ohio State will be Christian Grahovsky. Coming up on vault for Stanford with his first of two vaults, Brandon Wynn. Preston Nye of University of Illinois on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for Gym Tech will be Ty Rodriguez. Brandon Wynn of Stanford on vault. Alexander Natachi of Nebraska on parallel bars. Justin Park of agility on high bar. Up next on P bars for West Point will be Dante Reeve. Coming up on high bar for Texas Dreams, Jun Iwe. Coming up next on rings for Michigan, Frederick Richard. Brandon Wynn of Stanford on vault. Ty Rodriguez of Gym Tech on pommel horse. Dante Reeve of West Point on parallel bars. Fred Richard of Michigan on rings. Up next on rings for Interstate will be Divya Ramos. Coming up next on pommel horse for Illinois, Ian Sandoval. And up next on parallel bars for Nebraska, Caden Clinton. Now on high bar for Texas Dreams, Jun Iwe. Jun Iwe of Texas Dreams on high bar. That was Divya Ramos of Interstate on rings. Ian Sandoval of Illinois on pommel horse. Caden Clinton of Nebraska on parallel bars. Drake Andrews of Ohio State on floor. This concludes competition in the first rotation. Gymnasts may now advance to their second event in the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men.
You can't be demanding. You can't be relentless. You can't put yourself first. So, put yourself first. You can't dominate. So dominate. You can't fill a stadium. So fill that stadium. You can't take credit. You can't speak up. You can't be ambitious. You can't have any fun. You can't be proud. You can't keep score. You can't stand out. Whatever you do, you can't win. So win.
Todd takes Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Todd. I'm a veteran of 23 years. I served 3 overseas tours. I love to give back to the community. I saw a Prevagen commercial and I did some research on it. I started taking Prevagen about 3 years ago. I've told my coworkers and family since taking Prevagen how much of a difference it's made in my life. I feel really good.
Prevagen for your brain.
All right, how do we stream all of these games?
Well, we engineered a fast, reliable Xfinity internet.
So you never miss a moment while streaming live sports?
Isn't that the best part about working here?
No, it's the uniform.
Actually, Mr. Jalen, I do feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah, and I feel ridiculous.
I mostly feel cold.
Meeting over.
It's fine.
Try to make y'all look fresh. They don't get it.
Know what's fresh? A super fast connection to the court with low lag. That's Wi-Fi built for streaming live sports. Bring on the good stuff.
After the first rotation on the first night of competition for senior men, here are your top 6 heading into rotation 2. Currently in 6th place for Stanford, Kai Uemura. In 5th place for University of Nebraska, Alexandra Natachi. In 4th place for Ohio State, Cameron Nelson. And the top 3 look like this. In 3rd place for Ohio State with a 13.95, Jesse Lee Pekeli. In 2nd place for Stanford with a 14.2 score, Taylor Burkhart. And leading the contest so far with a 14.5 for Stanford, Riley Luce. They are your current leaders heading into the 2nd rotation of the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men. This concludes the warm-up, and competition resumes with the start of rotation 2. Starting off on floor for agility, Nathan Roman. On pommel horse for Ohio State, Parker Thaxton. On rings for Evo, Danila Lakin. On vault for Air Force, Eric Upton. On parallel bars for Stanford, Kieran Mandava. And now on high bar for Nebraska, Taylor Christopoulos. Eric Upton of Air Force on vault. Coming up next on vault for Navy, Brian Solomon. Danila Lakin of Evo on rings. Up next on rings for Gymkhana, Sasha Boganosiuk. Parker Thaxton of Ohio State on pommel horse. Kieran Mandava of Stanford on parallel bars. Taylor Christopoulos of Nebraska on high bar. And Nathan Roman of agility on floor. Coming up next on floor for Oklahoma, Brigham Fennerwith. Coming up next on pommel horse for Ohio State, David Ramirez. Up next on parallel bars for Stanford, Riley Luce. And coming up next on high bar for 5280, Dallas Hale. Solomon of Navy on vault. Coming up next on vault for Michigan will be Frederick Richard.
Come on, Riley.
Sasha Boganosiuk of Gymkhana on rings. Up next on rings for Illinois will be Preston Nye.
Come on, Riley.
David Ramirez of Ohio State on pommel horse. Coming up next on pommels for Ohio State, Cameron Nelson. Riley Luce of Stanford on parallel bars. Now on floor for Oklahoma, Brigham Frentaway. Coming up next on P-bars for Stanford, Colt Walker. Frederick Richard of Michigan on vault. Coming up next on vault for Interstate will be Divier Ramos. Brigham Trentaway of Oklahoma on floor. Dallas Hale of 5280 on high bar. Coming up next on floor for Eagle Ridge will be Nate Brady. Up next on high bar for Nebraska, Alexandra Natachi. Vivier Ramos of Interstate on vault. Colt Walker of Stanford on parallel bars. Preston Nye of Illinois on ring. Coming up next on rings for Gym Tech will be Ty Rodriguez. Up next on parallel bars for Stanford, Kai Uemura. Now on high bar for Nebraska, Alexandra Natachi. Cameron Nelson of Ohio State on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for Ohio State, Christian Grahovsky. Alexandra Natachi of Nebraska on high bar. Coming up next on high bar for West Point will be Dante Reeve. Nate Brady of Eagle Ridge on floor. Up next on floor for agility will be Justin Park.
Come on, Kai.
Ty Rodriguez of Gym Tech on rings. Up next on rings for Illinois will be Ian Sandoval.
Come on, Kai. Come on. Wait. Yeah. Come on, Kai. Let's do it. Nice. Keep going. Keep going. Come on, keep working. Yeah, let's go now. Woo!
Kai Uemura of Stanford on parallel bars. Coming up next on P bars for Stanford will be Taylor Burkhart. Now on floor for agility, Justin Park. Coming up next on pommel horse for Ohio State, Drake Andrews. Justin Park of agility on floor. Bennett of Ohio State on pommel horse. Dante Reeve of West Point on high bar. Taylor Burkhardt of Stanford on parallel bars. Coming up next on pommel horse for Ohio State will be Jesse Lee Pichelli. Coming up next on high bar for Nebraska will be Caden Clinton. Up next on parallel bars for Stanford, Brandon Wynn. Jun Iwe of Texas Dreams on floor. Coming up next on floor for Oklahoma will be Fuzzy Bennett. Jesse Lee Pichelli of Ohio State on pommel horse. Brandon Wynn of Stanford on parallel bars. Caden Clinton of Nebraska on high bar. Coming up next on parallel bars for Stanford will be Jeremy Bischoff. Jeremy Bischoff of Stanford on parallel bars. Fuzzy Bennett of Oklahoma on floor. Gymnastics fans, please join us in showing some support for the gymnast on rings for University of Illinois, Ian Sandoval. Coming up next on rings for Evo will be Alex Diab. Now on rings for Evo, Alex Diab. Alex Diab of Evo on rings. This concludes competition in the second rotation. Gymnasts may now advance to their third event on the first night of the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men.
Stream all of these games.
Well, we engineered a fast, reliable Xfinity internet.
So you never miss a moment while streaming live sports.
Isn't that the best part about working here?
No, it's the uniform.
Actually, Mr. Jalen, I do feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah, and I feel ridiculous.
I mostly feel cold.
Meeting over.
It's fine.
Try to make y'all look fresh. They don't get it.
Know what's fresh? A super fast connection to the court with low lag. That's Wi-Fi built for streaming live sports. Bring on the good stuff.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Greg takes Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Greg. I live in Bloomington, Illinois. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. 8 years ago, I just didn't feel like I was on my game. I started taking Prevagen, and I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me. I've been taking Prevagen for 8 years now, and it's still helping me tremendously.
Prevagen for your brain.
Preston Nye with a 26.6. In third place, Kai Uibera of Stanford with a 26.7. Currently in second place, Riley Luce of Stanford with a 27.3. And leading the way with a 28 even in the all-around for Stanford, Taylor Burkhart. They are your leaders heading into Rotation 3 on Night 1 of the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men.
Time of year for gymnastics. End of a quadrennium. Everybody's a gymnastics fan when that happens. pretty vigilant with those rings.
This concludes the warm-up, and competition resumes with the start of rotation 3. Starting off on floor for 5280, Dallas Hale. On pommel horse for Oklahoma, Ignacio Yakers. On rings for Ohio State, David Ramirez. On vault with his first of 2 vaults for Gymkhana, Sasha Bogdanosiuk. On parallel bars for Michigan, Javier Alfonso. And on high bar for Stanford, Riley Luce. Sasha Bogdanosiuk of Gymkhana on vault. Ignacio Yakers of Oklahoma on pommel horse. Javier Alfonso of Michigan on parallel bars. Riley Luce of Stanford on high bar. Dallas Hale of 5280 on floor. David Ramirez of Ohio State on ring. Coming up next on vault with his second vault, Sasha Bogdanosiuk of Gymkhana. Up next on floor for Nebraska, Alexander Natachi. Coming up next on pommel horse for Eagle Ridge, Nate Brady. Up next on rings for Ohio State, Cameron Nelson. Coming up on parallel bars for Navy, Brian Solomon. And up next on high bar for Stanford, Colt Walker. Sasha Bogdanosiuk of Gymkhana on vault. Up next on vault for Illinois will be Preston Nye. Nate Brady of Eagle Ridge on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for agility, Justin Park. Brian Solomon of Navy on parallel bars. Coming up next on P bars for Michigan, Frederick Richard. Preston Nye of Illinois on vault. Up next on vault for Gym Tech, Ty Rodriguez. Colt Walker of Stanford on high bar. Alexandra Natachi of Nebraska on floor. Up next on floor for West Point, Dante Reeve. Up next on rings, coming up next on parallel bars for Michigan, Fred Richard. And coming up Colt Walker of Stanford on high bar. Coming up next on high bar for Stanford will be Kai Uemura. Cameron Nelson of Ohio State on rings. Up next on rings for Ohio State, Christian Grahovsky. Ty Rodriguez of Gym Tech on vault. Now on pommel horse for Texas Dreams, Jun Iwe. Dante Reeve of West Point on floor. Coming up next on floor for 5280, Ethan Cox. Coming up next on vault for Evo, Danila Lakin. Danila Lakin of Evo on vault. Christian Grahovsky of Ohio State on rings. Up next on rings for Ohio State will be Drake Andrews. Kai Uemura of Stanford on high bar. Now on P-bars for Interstate, Divier Ramos. Coming up next on high bar for Stanford, Taylor Burkhart. Divier Ramos of Interstate on parallel bars. Nathan Roman of agility on pommel horse. Coming up next on parallel bars for Michigan, Crew Bowl. Taylor Burkhardt of Stanford on high bar. Ethan Cox of 5280 on floor. Drake Andrews of Ohio State on ring. Coming up next on floor for Nebraska will be Caden Clinton. Up next on rings for Ohio State, Jesse Lee Pekeli. And coming up next on high bar for Stanford will be Jeremy Bishop. Crew Bold of Michigan on parallel bars. Up next on P-bars for Air Force will be Eric Upton. Now on rings for Ohio State, Jesse Lee Pekeli. Now on floor for Nebraska, Caden Clinton. Jesse Lee Pekeli of Ohio State on rings. Caden Clinton of Nebraska on floor. Eric Upton of Air Force on parallel bars. Jeremy Bishop of Stanford on high bar. Coming up next on floor for Nebraska, Taylor Christopoulos. And coming up next on high bar for Stanford will be Kieran Mandava. Taylor Christopoulos of Nebraska on floor. Kieran Mandava of Stanford on high bar. This concludes competition in the third rotation. Gymnasts may now advance to their fourth event at the halfway mark of the first night of the 2025 Winter.
Now it's time for tonight's Prevagen Memorable Moment as we take a look back at the 2024 Winter Cup. Curran Phillips delivered an extraordinary parallel bars routine on day 2 of the competition. Phillips scored a monster 16.1 to capture the highest score recorded during the entire Winter Cup weekend, cementing a truly memorable moment. Prevagen, made for your brain.
Coming up next on rings for Texas Dreams will be Jung Iway.
Come on now.
I couldn't see. What? No. I saw. You see goal? That's it. No, they sometimes they didn't.
Coming next on the ball for Ohio State will be Jesse Lee McCallum. Now on pommel horse for Nebraska, Taylor Christopoulos. Now on high bar for Air Force, Eric Upton. Taylor Christopoulos of Nebraska on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for 5280, Dallas Hale. Eric Upton of Air Force on high bar. Up next on high bar for Michigan will be Javier Alfonso. Now on high bar for Michigan, Javier Alfonso. Javier Alfonso of Michigan on high bar. Now on floor for Stanford. Now on floor for Stanford, Riley Luce. Riley Luce of Stanford on floor. Now on pommel horse for 5280, Dallas Hale. Dallas Hale of 5280 on pommel horse. This concludes competition in the fourth rotation. Gymnasts may now advance to their fifth event in the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men.
You can't be relentless. You can't put yourself first. So, put yourself first. You can't dominate. So dominate. You can't fill a stadium. So fill that stadium. You can't take credit. You can't speak up. You can't be ambitious. You can't have any fun. You can't be proud. You can't keep score. You can't stand out. Whatever you do, you can't win. So win.
Todd takes Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Todd. I'm a veteran of 23 years. I served 3 overseas tours. I love to give back to the community. I saw a Prevagen commercial and I did some research on it. I started taking Prevagen about 3 years ago. I've told my coworkers and family since taking Prevagen how much of a difference it's made in my life. I feel really good.
Prevagen, for your brain.
All right, how do we stream all of these games?
Well, we engineered a fast, reliable Xfinity internet.
So you never miss a moment while streaming live sports.
Isn't that the best part about working here?
No, it's the uniform.
Actually, Mr. Jalen, I do feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah, and I feel ridiculous.
I mostly feel cold.
Meeting over.
It's fine.
Try to make y'all look fresh. They don't get it.
Know what's fresh? A super fast connection to the court with low lag. That's Wi-Fi built for streaming live sports. Bring on the good stuff.
After 4 rotations of competition, here are your top 6 in the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men. Currently in 6th place for University of Nebraska, Taylor Christopoulos. In 5th place for Ohio State, Drake Andrews. And in 4th place for Stanford, Kai Uemura. The top three are as follows. In third place with a 52.95 score for Michigan, Frederick Richard. In second place with a 53.1 for Stanford, Taylor Burkhart. And leading the way with a 54.55 in the all-around for Stanford, Riley Luce. They are your leaders heading into the final two rotations on the first of 2 days of competition at the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men. This concludes the warm-up, and competition resumes with the start of rotation 5. Starting off on floor for Michigan, Frederick Richard. On pommel horse for Stanford, Taylor Burkhart. On rings for West Point, Dante Reeve. On vault for agility, Justin Park. On parallel bars for Ohio State, Christian Grahovsky. And now on high bar for Gym Tech, Ty Rodriguez. Done. Taylor Burkhart of Stanford on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for Stanford, Jeremy Bischoff. Ty Rodriguez. Justin Park of agility on vault. Kristen Grahovsky of Ohio State on parallel bars. Coming up next on high bar for Evo, Dania Lakin. Frederick Richard of University of Michigan on floor. Up next on floor for Interstate will be Divir Ramos. Coming up next on vault for Texas Dreams, Jun Iwe. Dante Reeve of West Point on rings. Up next on rings for Nebraska, Caden Clinton. Coming up next on parallel bars for Ohio State will be Drake Andrews. Now on vault for Texas Dream, Jun Iwe. Now on pommel horse for Stanford, Jeremy Bishop. And now on floor for Interstate, Divier Ramos. Jun Iwe of Texas Dreams on vault. Up next on vault for University of Oklahoma, Fuzzy Bennis. Jeremy Bishop of Stanford on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for Stanford, Kieran Mandava. Drake Andrews of Ohio State on parallel bars. Divier Ramos of Interstate on floor. Up next on floor for Michigan, Crew Bold. Caden Clinton of Nebraska on rings. Up next on rings for Nebraska, Taylor Christopoulos. Fuzzy Bennis of Oklahoma on vault. Dania Lakin of Evo on high bar. Up next on vault for agility, Nathan Roman. Up next on high bar for Gymkhana, Sasha Boganosiuk. Kieran Mandava of Stanford on pommel horse. Up next on pommels for Stanford, Riley Luce. Jesse Lee Pekeli of Ohio State on parallel bars. Coming up next on P-bars for Ohio State will be David Ramirez. Nathan Roman of agility on vault. Up next on vault for Eagle Ridge will be Nate Brady. Crew Bold of Michigan on floor. Coming up next on floor for Air Force, Eric Upton. Sasha Boganosiuk of Gymkhana on high bar. Coming up next on high bar for Illinois will be Preston Nye. Now with his first of two vaults for Eagle Ridge, Nate Brady. Nate Brady of Eagle Ridge on vault. Riley Luce of Stanford on pommel horse. Up next on pommel horse for Stanford, Colt Walker. David Ramirez of Ohio State on parallel bars. Up next on P-bars for Ohio State, Cameron Nelson. Taylor Christopoulos of Nebraska on rings. Up next on rings for 5280, Dallas Hill. Eric Upton of Air Force on floor. Up next on floor for Michigan will be Javier Alfonso. Nate Brady of Eagle Ridge on vault. Colt Walker of Stanford on pommel horse. Now on rings for 5280, Dallas Hale. Now on floor for Michigan, Javier Alfonso. Cameron Nelson of Ohio State on parallel bars. Dallas Hale of 5280 on rings. Up next on rings for Nebraska will be Alexandru Natachi. Javier Alfonso of Michigan on floor. Up next on floor for Navy will be Brian Solomon. Kai Uemura of Stanford on pommel horse. Now on floor for Navy, Brian Solomon. Brian Solomon of Navy on floor. Alexandru Natachi of Nebraska on rings. This concludes competition in the fifth rotation. Gymnasts may now advance to their sixth and final event on the first night of the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men.
All right, how do we stream all of these games?
Well, we engineered a fast, reliable Xfinity internet.
So you never miss a moment while streaming live sports.
Isn't that the best part about working here?
No, it's the uniform.
Actually, Mr. Jalen, I do feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah, and I feel ridiculous.
I mostly feel cold.
Meeting over.
It's fine.
Try to make y'all look fresh. Y'all don't get it.
Know what's fresh? A super fast connection to the court with low lag. That's Wi-Fi built for streaming live sports. Bring on the good stuff.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health. With a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Greg takes Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Greg. I live in Bloomington, Illinois. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. 8 years ago, I just didn't feel like I was on my game. I started taking Prevagen, and I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me. I've been taking Prevagen for 8 years now, and it's still helping me tremendously.
Prevagen for your brain.
Score that.
Let's take another look at the top six in the all-around heading into the final rotation on the first of two nights of competition for senior men here at Winter Cup. In sixth place, it's Jun Iwe of Texas Dreams with a 64.95. In fifth place, Kai Uemura of Stanford, 65 straight. In fourth place, Drake Andrews of Ohio State with a 65.05. And the top three look like this. Currently in third place, for Stanford, Taylor Burkhardt with a 66.55. In second place for Stanford, Riley Luce with a 66.85. And leading the all-around with a 67 for University of Michigan, Frederick Richard. They are your leaders heading into the final rotation on night one of the Winter Cup for senior men. This concludes the warm-up, and competition resumes with the start of rotation 6. Starting off on floor for Evo, Kyle Jordan. On pommel horse for Interstate, Tivia Ramos. On rings for Stanford, Riley Luce. On vault for 5280, Ethan Cox. On parallel bars for Texas Dreams, Jun Iwe. And on high bar for Ohio State, Caden Spencer. Ethan Cox of 5280 on vault. Jun Iwe of Texas Dreams on parallel bars. Riley Luce of Stanford on rings. Caden Spencer of Ohio State on high bar. Tivia Ramos of Interstate on pommel horse. Kyle Jordan of Evo on floor. Up next on floor for Evo will be Dania Lakin. Up next on pommel horse for Air Force, Patrick Hoops. Coming up on rings for Stanford, Colt Walker. Next up on vault for Nebraska, Taylor Christopoulos. Coming up on parallel bars for agility, Nathan Roman. Caden Spencer of Ohio State on high bar. Coming up on high bar for Ohio State will be Drake Andrews. Taylor Christopoulos of Nebraska on vault. Coming up next on vault for 5280, Dallas Hale. Colt Walker of Stanford on rings. Coming up on rings for Stanford, Kai Uemura. Patrick Hoops of Air Force on pommel horse. Dallas Hale of 5280 on vault. Nathan Roman of agility on parallel bars. Coming up next on pommels for Air Force, Eric Upton. Up next with his first of two vaults for Nebraska will be Alexandru Natachi. And coming up on P-bars for Eagle Ridge, Nate Brady. Daniela Lakin of Evo on floor. Up next on floor for Gymkhana will be Sasha Boganosiuk. Drake Andrews of Ohio State on high bar. Up next on high bar for Ohio State, Jessie Lee Pikeli. Alexander Natachi of Nebraska with his first of 2 vaults. Eric Upton of Air Force on pommel horse. Coming up next on pommel horse for Navy, Brian Solomon. Kai Uemura of Stanford on rings. Up next on rings for Stanford, Taylor Burkhart. Nate Brady of Eagle Ridge on parallel bars. Up next on P-bars for agility will be Justin Park. Alexander Natachi of Nebraska on vault. Coming up next on vault for West Point, Dante Reeve. Jessie Lee Pikeli of Ohio State on high bar. Coming up on high bar for Ohio State, David Ramirez. Sasha Bogonosiuk of Gymkhana on floor. Coming up next on floor for Gym Tech, Ty Rodriguez. Taylor Burkhart of Stanford on rings. Brian Solomon of Navy on pommel horse. Dante Reeve of West Point on vault. Up next on pommel horse for Michigan, Frederick Richard. David Ramirez of Ohio State on high bar. Justin Park of agility on parallel bars. Ty Rodriguez of Gym Tech on floor. Up next on high bar for Ohio State, Cameron Nelson. Frederick Rodriguez. Frederick Richard of Michigan on pommel horse. Now on high bar for Ohio State, Cameron Nelson. Cameron Nelson of Ohio State on high bar. Christian Grahovsky of Ohio State on high bar. Gymnastics fans, this concludes the first of 2 sessions of competition in the 2025 Winter Cup for senior men. Please join us now in recognizing all of these talented athletes for their amazing competitive skill. We want to thank you for bringing the roar to the Kentucky International Convention Center today. More competition comes your way this jam-packed gymnastics weekend. Join us tomorrow for the Elite Team Cup at 1 p.m. and the Winter Cup for senior women at 6 p.m. Then on Sunday, we bring you the Winter Cup for junior women at 9 a.m., the Nastia Lukin Cup at 12:30 p.m., and the final Winter Cup competition for the senior and junior men at 4:30 p.m. Many thanks for your support of these gymnasts and USA Gymnastics. Thank you, judges, for all of your hard work and dedication, and safe travels, everyone. We hope to see you tomorrow.
You can't be demanding. You can't be relentless. You can't put yourself first. So, put yourself first. You can't dominate. So dominate. You can't fill a stadium. So fill that stadium. You can't take credit. You can't speak up. You can't be ambitious. You can't have any fun. You can't be proud. You can't keep score. You can't stand out. Whatever you do, you can't win. So win.
Todd takes Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Todd. I'm a veteran of 23 years. I served 3 overseas tours. I love to give back to the community. I saw a Prevagen commercial and I did some research on it. I started taking Prevagen about 3 years ago. I've told my coworkers and family since taking Prevagen how much of a difference it's made in my life. I feel really good.
Prevagen, for your brain.
All right, how do we stream all of these games?
Well, we engineered a fast, reliable Xfinity internet.
So you never miss a moment while streaming live sports?
Isn't that the best part about working here?
No, it's the uniform.
Actually, Mr. Jalen, I do feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah, and I feel ridiculous.
I mostly feel cold.
Meeting over.
It's fine.
Try to make y'all look fresh. Y'all don't get it.
Know what's fresh? A super fast connection to the court with low lag. That's Wi-Fi built for streaming live sports. Bring on the good stuff.